Well, Deb Murphy filed another story in a series for Sierra Wave Media about homeless and people needing help in the Eastern Sierra. Deb Murphy writes, in a perfect world, Wild Iris's director of program, Susie Baines, would have a campus for women and men transitioning out of an abusive relationship. Now, Baines has obviously built this center in her mind over the years, and she said of the 550 victims Wild Iris has served since 2013 and 2014, Baines said in an interview, 100 would have benefited from a center. Now the campus would provide housing, a community kitchen, and services to help the victims and their children back on a healthy, self-sufficient path. But that campus doesn't exist in either Inyo or Mono County. Now, Wild Iris is part of the Consortium of Cares efforts to meet the needs of the homeless in the Eastern Sierra. The nonprofit's focus is victims of abuse, predominantly women with limited options, faced with the decision to stay with their abuser or leave with no place to go and no resources. Now, Wild Iris's Susie Baines admits that the small communities in the Eastern Sierra make the situation tougher. She said when the victim is in immediate danger, we put them where nobody knows where they are. That can be difficult. Now, after a few nights or up to a week, the next step isn't any less difficult. Where do they go from there? Now, Baines said that many go back to the abuser, usually because of finances. Some leave the area and some choose to stay. Now, mothers in abusive relationships are even more conflicted, modeling violence in what is supposed to be a loving family or finding a stable home environment with no resources. Now, the organization works with its clients through a transitional program providing life skills, jobs, and counseling, whatever it takes to be self-sufficient. The reality is they need a stable place like a long-term shelter, Baines said. Now, the dynamics of domestic violence, according to Baines, are both emotional and physical. Often the women aren't allowed to work or make decisions, she said. They're alone and it's scary. The only way they can really be free is to be self-sufficient. We thank Deb Murphy for that story. Well, the Bishop Community Concerts Association begins a new season this Thursday at the Dorothy Joseph Auditorium at Bishop Union High School. This season kicks off with George Kahn Jazz and Blues Review. Now, with a band of all-star Los Angeles players, the George Kahn Jazz and Blues Review brings the history of jazz and blues to life in an exciting evening of music, a press release notes, and it's all taking place Thursday here in the Eastern Sierra, again at Bishop Union High School. Please, I urge you to see the website, bishopcca.org, for all the information. Well, the press release notes that across the country, the popularity of storytelling is growing, with storytelling festivals springing up everywhere. The Mammoth Museum at Hayden Cabin is catching this wave of interest as it presents the first Mammoth Storytelling Festival that is set for this Saturday. That press release says, in today's wired world, responding to the human voice is becoming a lost art. Unless you're one of those phone things, by presenting engaging tales of the Sierra along the banks of Mammoth Creek. Mammoth Museum hopes to transport its audience to a less hectic time, a time when families sit together and enjoy spoken entertainment suitable for all ages, a time when yarns from the past are as fun as Pokemon Go. Not that a lot of us think that was fun. With the Sherwin Range towering in the distance, this event at the Mammoth Museum at Hayden Cabin at the new Temple of Folly tent on the museum grounds will present tall tales and music next to the quaking autumn aspens. Oh, we're getting some great fall colors right now. And since this event is sponsored by the Southern Mono Historical Society, operators of the Mammoth Museum, you can be sure there will be an historical spin. And again, this is an all-ages festival beginning this Saturday at noon, going until about 4 o'clock. A group of talented local storytellers have volunteered to share their unique and amusing tales. If you would like more information, great event wrapping up the season for the Hayden Cabin at Mammoth Museum. Urge you to call 760-934-6918, mammothmuseum.org, or you can check out their Facebook page. We have that full press release posted on sierrawave.net. We'll be back with more news.